California Governor Gavin Newsom, he really went after Trump during this event. And, it's about damn time somebody with a platform that they just laid it out so clearly. The Republican Party, I mean, under the cult-like grip of that man, it's become this machine that just like runs on cruelty and division. And it's a complete catastrophe for American democracy. People might see this and think it's just politics as usual, but it's really a calculated assault on the very fabric of our nation, and we are living through the consequences. I mean, every single day. So during the event, Newsom, he highlighted this really chilling example of what I'm talking about. It's something that should, I don't know, send a shiver down the spine of every decent American. He talked about Trump's response to the anniversary of I think it was a devastating wildfire in California. A moment that really should have been about unity, right? But instead it was twisted into this whole spectacle of intimidation. This is what Newsom said about Trump's just grotesque display in Los Angeles. Yeah, I'm going to play you the clip now. Clip start.
Now, little tip of the hat from the President of the United States. 6-month anniversary, after all. And instead, we got nothing on Truth Social. Kept checking. Maybe using Twitter to check the X. Nothing. And right before our press conference, Mayor Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, said, I've got to go. I said, what's going on, Mayor? She goes, well, something's going on in MacArthur Park. MacArthur Park is this beautiful park near downtown Los Angeles. One of the most diverse cities in the most diverse county, in the most diverse state, California, and our most diverse democracy in the United States of America. And Donald Trump, in order to celebrate the 6th anniversary, decided to send hundreds and hundreds of military troops into the park, into the playground, in the middle of the day, where kids this old had a summer camp. And the kids were taken away and hidden into the buildings as they paraded around with American flags on horseback, in military garb, and machine guns, all masked. Now, one arrest was made.
I mean, can you even wrap your head around that? On a day that should have been for solemn remembrance, this strongman type sends armed troops into a park, terrifying children at a summer camp. I mean, kids! It's the kind of thuggish strongman tactic you'd expect to see in some, I don't know, banana republic, not the United States of America. But, well, here we are. And look, this wasn't some random idiotic decision by a president who can't find his own socks. It was a message, a deliberate act of psychological warfare. It was meant to terrorize a community he sees as the enemy. It was totally calculated. The whole just disgusting spectacle, it proves what so many of us have been, screaming for years. For Trump and his MAGA followers, a lot of people think the cruelty is just like a side effect of their policies. But no, that is the entire damn point. They get off on it. Honestly, it's like a drug for these ghouls. I remember, when was it? Back in 2018, I think. I was getting into it with an uncle, and I was trying to explain that the family separations at the border, they weren't just some policy debate. They were intentionally cruel. And he just smirked and said, well, they shouldn't have come here illegally. And the look in his eyes, it was a coldness, a genuine satisfaction in the suffering of others. That's what we're up against. And Newsom, he absolutely nailed it. So, here's the part of his speech where he really he boils it all down. Let's play the clip.
Paraded around with American flags on horseback, in military garb, and machine guns, all masked. Now, one arrest was made. But what he was doing, he wanted to make a point. Cruelty is the point. Cruelty is the point. So, yeah, that's the world we're living in, and you know it well. That's what motivates him. Not the United States of America. He wants the divided states of America. You're not even American if you come from a place like California. You remember his response to the disaster in California? He blamed every single person. Not a peep blame.
That's it. That's it right there. Cruelty is the point. It's like, it's the unifying theory of Trumpism, right? It explains everything. Everything from his mockery of disabled reporters to his vicious attacks on Gold Star families. People think this is about making America great, but what it's really about is making a specific set of people hurt. And that's just a pathetic and evil foundation for a political movement. And this twisted obsession with cruelty, it extends directly into their policies, especially when it comes to what our kids are allowed to learn. I mean, inflicting pain in the present isn't enough for them, apparently. No, these lunatics are determined to erase the pain of the past, too. They're, trying to whitewash history, pretending the ugly parts never happened because it, hurts their fifis or something. And the laboratory for this historical vandalism, it's been states like Florida, right? Led by a guy like Ron DeSantis. And now that this sickness has gone national, they're trying to export this model everywhere, gutting textbooks, silencing teachers. It's a concerted effort to raise a generation of ignorant, compliant citizens who don't know their own country's history of struggle and progress. It's just, it's mind-boggling, isn't it, that a major political party's platform is basically, hey, let's make sure kids don't learn about racism. And Newsom talked about how Democrats were kind of caught flat-footed by this whole assault on truth. This is what he is saying. And it's a really critical warning.
I felt we were being a little timid. I felt we were on the receiving end of so much. I'm wondering, why are we chasing this? Why am I chasing what Greg Abbott's saying, or this guy Ron DeSantis is saying? Why am I sitting here in the United States of America in 2022 reading about a major state like Florida rewriting the history books, censoring historic facts, going so far as to take out the race of Rosa Parks because it was perceived as too woke. The anti-woke laws, which were nothing more than anti-black. That's all that was about. What's the whole point of DEI? The assault on ESG, CRT. Remember that? They were shape-shifting everything, and we...
So let me be really clear about what Newsom said, because he's 100% correct. These, quote, anti-woke laws, they're nothing but a smokescreen. A smokescreen for just straight up racism and bigotry. They are anti-black, they are anti-gay, they are anti-history, and fundamentally anti-American. All of it wrapped up in some cowardly, focus grouped buzzword for the MAGA base to chant. This entire project, this thing of division and historical erasure, it's powered by a massive, well-funded propaganda network. These grifters, they can't win on ideas, right? So they've built this constant screeching deluge of lies to keep their base angry and terrified. And look, it goes way beyond the obvious culprits at Fox News, which is let's be honest, basically state television for the Republican Party at this point. And speaking of local news, God, I remember it used to be about, zoning board meetings and traffic reports, that sort of thing. But now Sinclair Broadcasting has turned hundreds of local stations into puppets. Just puppets forced to spew the exact same right-wing talking points. It's like a sickness that is metastasized across the country. And I'm not even getting into the online troll farms. It's a machine designed to just bypass critical thinking entirely. Newsom, he laid out this whole network of garbage perfectly. And he even put his money where his mouth is by taking them to court.
They were weaponizing grievance. They were separating. They've got a whole network. And I'm not talking about Fox. I'm talking about Sinclair. 185 local stations, redundantly repeating the same storyline over and over and over and over and over and over again. You got One American News, you got Newsmax, then you have Fox News. Lies, mis and misrepresentation. If you think I'm lying, take a look at what I did last week. I sued Fox News for because it's all at stake. It's all at stake. One of the great parts of this community is, you've got this extraordinary courthouse, culture. I mean, that's all we've got left. I remember, I was taught when I was your age, there were 3 co-equal branches of government. Right now, it appears well, we know one's gone. A guy named Johnson completely abdicated any responsibility and role of advising, consent, and oversight. So all we've got left, maybe, is the courts, or maybe more importantly, the court of public opinion. And maybe that's it is the point I want to emphasize before I let you all go. I'm old enough to remember Justice Brandeis. My father served as a member of the California Court of Appeals. He used to always quote Justice Brandeis, who said, in a democracy, the most important office is office of citizen. With all due respect, Mr. President, not the presidency. Not governors, not mayors, not even, with respect, members of our represented body.
He's not lying. And suing them is a start, sure, but we have to recognize what this actually is. People will say it's just a media ecosystem with a different viewpoint. It's not. It's a state-aligned propaganda apparatus. And with a narcissist like Trump back in the Oval Office, its only purpose is to protect the dear leader and demonize his enemies. It's the most powerful weapon in the arsenal of this whole autocratic spectacle. So, with a reality-bending propaganda machine and a guy who wants to be a dictator back in the White House, it's damn easy to feel hopeless. I get it. It's tempting to just check out, to give in to the cynicism and just let the whole thing burn. But that is exactly what these guys want. I'll be honest, the week after the last election, man, it was tough to even read the news. It really was. But succumbing to that fear, that's how we lose everything for good. As Newsom says, people think the most important office in this country is the presidency, but really it's the office of the citizen. And we can't just abandon our post. This is the only thing you need to remember. The one message that cuts through all the noise and all the nonsense. This is what Gavin Newsom left his audience with, and it's what we have to burn into our brains for the fight ahead.
Bodies were found a few miles down from their camp, together, holding their hands, doing everything in their power to stay together. I got kids that age, got daughters that age, got sons. You do as well. Grandkids. You This is what it's about. I mean, this is it. There's no do-over. And so my call to you is simple. You have the power to shape the future. The future is not just some experience, something to manifest. Decisions, not conditions, determine our fate and future. It's not what happens to us, it's how we respond to it. And our opportunity presents itself anew. In 18 months, you have the power to end Donald Trump's presidency. Because the fact that the administration ends, sure, he'll be fire and fury signifying something. We'll have to deal with the tweets, we'll have to deal with the attacks and the bullying, but the legislative agenda is effectively over. Enough of 17 million people getting kicked off Medicaid. Enough of rural hospitals being laid down. Enough of cutting food stamps and Meals on Wheels. Enough of tax breaks for people that don't need them. Enough of stacking a generation with more debt. You have that power in these midterms. So I want you to know how important you are. And I want to thank you for being here today. But most importantly, I want to thank you for everything you're doing tomorrow, next month, and next year as we take back that House of Representatives and we take back that power and we leverage this country, the United.
He's right. You know, he's right. We do have that power, but only if we use it. They want us exhausted. They want us divided and silent. But we have to be the exact opposite. Loud, united, and relentless. The fight to end this whole nightmare for good, it starts right now. Not next year or the year after, right now. So stay angry and stay engaged. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks for sticking with me through that breakdown of the utter insanity we're all up against. Hey, if you made it this far, do me a favor. Just obliterate that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I know it sounds like a small thing, but it genuinely helps fight back against the algorithm and gets this in front of more people who really need to see it. And let me know in the comments what you think is Newsom, right? Is cruelty the whole point? Until next time, stay angry and stay engaged.